Hello, Mock and Patch. I'm your host, Paul James, and today I'm joined by Matto Phillips, and Matto Phillips only. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, depends on the subject we're talking about. It could not be so good.
Well, I mean, we're at least holding on to our money, so that's a
We're
start. We're
not that
doing okay.
silly.
Yeah,
We're not that silly.
it's not the main focus of the episode, but I'm sure it'll come up at some point. We're talking about kind of a trend across. Oh, look, it happens in EA sports games as well, but I think it's probably at its worst with a lot of the 2K sports games these days. NBA 2K, WWE 2K, though they've also got bad games to contend with as well. And even the playgrounds
PG,
and
what
battlegrounds and all
about
those little spin offs.
PGA? Is that is bad or
Um,
not
I
yet?
actually haven't. Yeah, I don't think not yet. They're probably got to win people over, but we're talking
It's like
about kind of a
it's the first game. Yeah, you got to try and beat Microsoft Golf first. That's the
yeah,
top of golfing games.
or the one from The Simpsons. Yeah, would you like to
Um,
shoot? Would you like to play again? You have
Oh, the
selected
putting
no
game, yeah,
ballers
putting
in
challenge,
ballers in
and
parking lot.
Mario Golf.
Yeah,
You
so
got to get past Mario Golf as well.
there's some lofty bars that they need to jump
Oh,
first, but
that's a nice. It's almost a pun there. The old lofty.
yeah.
That is a shot. That is a golf shot. If anyone is trying to figure that out.
So with that awesome play on words behind us, one that I certainly didn't mean because I just don't know shit about golf. But we're talking about obviously the like 2K range of sports games and the microtransactions in them. Now we've kind of alluded to them a little bit in past episodes of Patched because especially you have kind of grown away from the 2K like NBA 2K specifically in recent years because they're just looking to nickel and dime you at all points.
Oh
I
yes.
even recently reviewed 2K21, and that was probably my biggest gripe with the game. Like it hasn't really evolved much, but like the game itself is awesome, but they're just looking to hitch up for cash at every single turn.
I think
Uh,
that's when anytime there's a review, everyone says, "Oh, gameplay is great, but so many microtransactions." And there, right there, I just go, "I don't want to. I don't want a bar of the game at
yeah,
all."
and they're really trying to encourage more and more like multiplayer stuff. But if the playing ground is uneven because some people are spending like there's whales that are just spending thousands of dollars. In some case, they're being rorted for thousands of dollars, which we might talk about that later. And then there's the rest of us who just want to try and play it properly and let just pure skill be the point of difference between players. It's kind of shit. So I mean, maybe we can start with you because your history with them is, especially your growing distaste for the microtransactions is longer than mine. What's been going on in your head when it comes to the NBA 2K games? And again, this extends to WWE and again the recent playgrounds and battlegrounds kind of spin-offs, those kind of more cartoony style things. But where have you been at when it comes to 2K in recent years?
Let's just go the backstory. My first NBA 2K game was 2K11, so that was back 2010. So I've been
Well, that's when they
playing it
peaked.
for 10 years. Yeah, that's
Isn't
where
it?
it started to get good. And so that time, no such thing as microtransactions. You just played the game. You got your skill points, and you upped your player, and it was
And that was it.
good because it was actually balanced. Same with 2K12, no problem. Then we come to 2K13, and that's where the beginning of the virtual currency started, and that's the beginning where I started to hate
So just to be clear for
2K.
everyone, if you see VC being thrown around on the internet, that's short for virtual
That's
currency.
virtual currency,
It's their in-game currency that you can spend your own hard-earned on. You can earn in-game, but if you want to,
but you get very, very little
yeah,
for like if you want to
anything.
like skills for your player, clothing, which is just absolutely
The
borderline
prices are
ridiculous
crazy.
on prices, stupid. And then they don't do anything. The old 2K games, you used to get like power boost with whatever item you used to get. Not anymore, you don't.
Nah,
They're just cosmetic crap. And then just from on there, I think in 2K13 there's this massive problem of server dropping out. And then if the server went down, you lost all your virtual currency to go to skill points, and you couldn't get it back. And that used to piss off people that spent all those thousands of dollars.
suck shit.
That's the phone ring in the background. Don't worry about that. And
We don't
yeah, and
normally
then
record at this time of the day, so it's thrown us all out
yeah,
to the point where
and
Damo
it's
couldn't
just
even make it.
yeah, and it just and then it just kept going and going, and it got worse and worse. And then after a while, I stopped. I think I went up to 2K15. Didn't buy it for 3 years. Got 19.
Because
Oh
Ben
no,
Simmons was on
18.
the cover.
Got 18. Got 18.
Oh yeah,
Didn't get
right.
19. Then got 20, which was last year. Then that was kind of it. I was went, I don't want any more after this because it's just when you, I know like the whole neighborhood thing, first thing
Yeah,
comes up, all about all the virtual currency stuff. I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't care about it.
yeah. And I'm all for in-game stuff that you can earn, and you can earn it, but it's just they give you jack shit, and it's like unless you want to be competitive against these other people who are either sinking thousands of hours into it or are just spending thousands of dollars or hundreds, at least hundreds of dollars, you're just going to get smashed every single time, and so your enjoyment disappears, and they know that. So like if you get smashed, there's the temptation, well, I love this game and I want to be competitive, so I'll spend some of my money, and it just gets in this ugly loop where they're making thousands of dollars on people, and it just gets really out of control. But it's kind of shit.
It's the same thing year after year. You get the same. It's the same thing no matter what. You get, oh, I want to play this without getting virtual currency, and you just get punished for it for paying full price for a game. And then they want you to pay more.
Yeah, if it was a free-to-play game, it might be slightly different. It's still probably a little out of control, even if it was a free-to-play game. But it's an easier pill to swallow if you're not paying for the game in the first place. So then they're throwing these other things at you. That's where mobile games have even gone in recent years. And there's some obviously horrible mobile games, but there's also some good ones that implement microtransactions as well. And the balance is good because you're not paying anything in the first place. They're not forcing them down your throat, but they're there, and you kind of bite when you want to. I mean, I don't want to turn. I've spoken enough about Pokemon Go over the years, but like you never really ultimately felt all that compelled to spend unless you were going out on a big binge or something like that, and you're like, well, I'm going out today, I'm going to make a big thing out of this, and I'll spend some cash, get a whole bunch of whatever it is that I want, and then go off and raid or go off and catch or whatever the case happens to be. But you didn't feel the temptation all the time like in an NBA 2K game.
Yeah, it's also the same with those free battle royale games.
Yeah.
There's no, what do you say? It's not going to improve you if you buy anything. It's just there. And it doesn't really.
And it's
It
cosmetic,
doesn't
right?
force you. Yeah, and it doesn't really. I've been like Apex and Fortnite. They don't really put it in your face,
Yeah.
like what they do with 2K. It's just here, 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 here. And with Apex, it's you don't see it. Same with Fortnite. Don't really see it. They might just promote something that's a limited time only.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's it.
Yeah, I mean the fact like the cosmetic ones, that's ultimately just down to what you want, and if you want to spend a little bit of money to make your character look a little bit better in Fortnite, in Apex, in Fall Guys, whatever it happens to be, you can do that, and no one's being disadvantaged. Everyone's still on the same level. The only thing that's different is skill level, and that's fine. That's what you'd expect in a competitive game, whether it's an NBA game, whether it's the ones we just mentioned, whether it's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare when it first came out and kind of revolutionized multiplayer in a lot of ways. Ultimately, we just had the green screen effect there. Don't mind that. It was down to the skill level of the player, and that's it. And yeah, like you stuck with them for a while and dropped away, whereas I would kind of just drop in every now and then. And I think the last one I bought for myself properly. Actually, no, sorry. I bought, I think it was last year's one because Ben Simmons was on the cover. It was going for like $20. I'm like, sweet.
Oh, no,
Aussie represent.
that was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago?
That was 19.
Oh, yeah, okay, right. So, like, I bought that one for, but I didn't even, like, I bought the game because it was dirt cheap. Ben was on the cover. Aussies represent, and then I've never actually played it. The one last one I really genuinely bought with the intention of playing was, I think 2K11, like you, and then I've played a couple others over the journey because I reviewed them for Player 2 or something like that, just kind of random ones every few years. And from about, well, you're saying they started to kick in from 2K13 onwards.
Round 13.
Now, I don't think I reviewed 2K13, but like I've reviewed a couple along the way. I feel like 17 might have been one. But there's been a couple along the journey anyway, and I've just noticed that the microtransactions are just getting uglier and uglier every year. They're forcing them in your face more and more, and the gameplay's evolving. The gameplay experience is getting better and better and better. But I'm not. I just feel like they're asking for more and more money. Not giving much.
There's
back.
so much gameplay can do.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah. Like the gameplay's great. That's nice, but I don't want the other crap.
Is it as simple as just asking, or like? Them just going cold turkey. Do you think they could ever just step back from hitting us up for money, or is this just how it's going to be forever now?
It's just going to be, it is forever, unless some law comes in
Oh, that'd be
to
right.
somewhat minimize it. Then I don't
Yeah.
see it's going to happen because that's all their money gone. That's all it is.
Yeah,
That's the case.
that's where they're making the majority of their money. And the ugly thing is that 2K is one of the couple companies, and I think PlayStation's doing it as well, and there'll be a couple others certainly over next year as well, that are actually charging more money for their games straight out the gate as well. The fact that games are costing more to make and all that sort of thing, they're in US dollars, they're sticking an extra $10 on next gen versions of games, and yet the microtransactions aren't disappearing from them at the same time. So they're taking more for the original purchase, and then they're hitting you up for more with the microtransactions on top of it, and they're shoving it in front of their face. It's getting really ugly. And them as a company, they're flying between the 2K games and then what Rockstar does with GTA, because they're just making money hand over fist with GTA Online and Shark Cards and all that stuff. I mean, I don't see him change. Yeah, similar to what you're saying, I don't see him changing because it's just making him so much money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know there are some laws in there for some microtransactions, but
But
they'll
even then, for
always
the most
find
part,
around. They'll always find ways around it. Always.
for the most part,
Always a way.
a lot of the countries, and I think even Australia is one of them, where it's just like you've just got to disclose it on the box, or like if it's a digital buy, make sure it's there where it says, in-game transactions are present or whatever, those sort of things. That's all it is. So most people, I mean, again, like to use GTA as the example, we've got a lot of parents that are going and buying buying GTA for their 10 or 11-year-old kids. They don't care then if they go to buy 2K, which is a basketball game, far more innocent, and it says, oh, we're hitting you up for more money, if they're also letting the same kid just go and shoot up the streets in GTA and scream at people online. Like, clearly these, and that's not, I'm being very, very general, but clearly these parents don't care. So, or they're not paying attention to the R rating or the microtransactions being stated on the 2K box or whatever it is. So it's not enough to actually impact anything, I would have thought. And then, as you said, it looks like it's probably only a matter of time before it really starts to sweep through the PGA games. I'm sure it's there to an extent now, but it won't be as ugly. I think Matt Houston did the review for us, and I don't think I saw him raise the phrase microtransaction at all. I've listened to him in podcasts. I don't think he mentioned it there at all. So it didn't seem like they were bombarding him with it, but it's probably only a matter of time.
Oh, it will be. More people will start playing it, and you got your big audience, and then throw in the microtransactions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2K Battlegrounds. So that's the WWE.
Yeah, the W. Yeah.
One that came out. Like, I spoke to Dash and Betson from Pop Culturist and Dash Gamer and all that, and both of them mentioned how they were tempted by microtransactions within about the first 10 minutes, or not tempted. They weren't tempted, but it was thrown in their face within the first few minutes. Played a couple of matches, like, wow, all these characters that I have to either play hundreds of hours to unlock or spend $20 or whatever the case is. It's just crazy. And that's the first WWE Battlegrounds game, and they've just gone, let's just copy and paste this financial model across, and boom, make hundreds, thousands of people. Which then,
because it is going off the old WWE,
the original model,
2K games, yeah, and people are just probably going over from that, and it doesn't really matter.
It's shit. I don't like. I mean, they're not going to change. I don't know what consumers can do other than do what you've done, which is just stop buying them. But at the same
I'm just
time,
one person.
But even if you're only one person, so it doesn't make an impact on them at all. There's kind of nothing that you can do. And I mean, have you felt tempted, like, as much as you don't want the microtransactions, have you felt at all tempted to go back and play 2K for any reason?
Not at all. I just have no care for it. And
Jeez,
you're doing well. Even with this next gen thing, where I know other games say, oh, you can upgrade it for free, and 2K, I'm pretty sure I heard that 2K is not doing that.
Yeah, you had to buy the deluxe edition to get the upgrade, or you just buy a brand new copy of the game, or if you didn't buy it in the first place and waited, it just cost you $10 extra compared to the original PS4 or Xbox One version. So there's a few different ways to get in, but all of them require extra money, which is pretty ugly as well. So they're trying to nickel and dime you at every point. 2K, stop being assholes. So then there's the other aspect that I raised with you before we started recording, which is a story that actually focuses kind of on. It's a local story actually, but no doubt it's happening kind of across the world. Is that we've got lots of scams that are kind of taking place through NBA 2K. There's people that are pretending to be profile streamers or internet personalities or whatever, and they're according to a Kotaku Australia article. There's about $300,000 at least that people have been scammed out of that's just known about so far within NBA 2K, and that just kind of shows that the currency itself in the game is so out of control that you've got people there that can take advantage of it and will prey on others. I mean, those people exist, but it's so easy through what 2K's got set up, and this carrot that they're constantly dangling in front of the players is so tempting that people are willing to give up thousands of dollars to some random person with the promise that they're going to get double
more
the
money back.
Yeah. And it's not a thing. And yet it's working. So it just kind of shows that the culture's out of control within 2K and what they're trying to do with it, that it's creating some ugliness within the game, and it doesn't seem like it's even being supervised properly, like moderated properly by whoever kind of works at Virtual Concepts and all the studios that work on the games. Clearly no one's really manning the fort that closely and monitoring what's going on. Though admittedly, if you look at some of the screenshots, some of these conversations are going on via DMs in Snapchat or Instagram or those sorts of things as well, Facebook. So they can't monitor that, but it's crazy. I don't know what you don't know what to do really.
I think it's that thing too that's it's outside of 2K. It's like you said, social media. So I don't think there's really much that they can do about it. I don't know how you stop it from happening is another question, but I think going by the article that we're looking at, it's sort of all young people.
Yeah, gullible young people.
21. Yeah, that sort of just, I don't know if they're big fans of someone on Twitch or whatever, then they just think, without really doing any proper research, and go, oh, hey, it's that guy, when really
it wasn't.
It's not. It's like the whole PlayStation Twitter one, which was spelled differently.
The fake accounts, and then they announce stuff that's not real.
And people, if you don't look at it twice, would probably think that's PlayStation. But it's not. And I think that's probably the reason why like Twitter and Facebook brought in the old tick verifying system to make sure that.
But people have even gotten clever with that, and they've created they're using
make their own ticks. Yeah, I've seen that.
Symbols that look like the tick. They're not perfect, but they look like the tick, and so people still believe them and share them.
I've seen other ones where the tick's in the picture as well. I'm thinking, wow, they're really getting creative. These people,
and to be fair. Clever. To be fair, then like those cases typically aren't people trying to rort other people. They're trolling, making up announcements that aren't legit just to fuck with people, which is kind of funny.
Like the PlayStation one. Yeah,
the PlayStation one was good, and there'll be more before the year's out. Just wait for it. There'll be something big soon. So I guess because this ultimately it's not a really long topic we need to dive into here, but what would they need to do? What would 2K need to do with we'll just focus on the NBA. What would they need to do with the NBA 2K games in your eyes, to actually get you to come back? Because again, you're probably not going to see the end of microtransactions in the game, but is there like a sweet spot for you that you could happily come back to the game even if you still didn't want to spend?
Yeah, if they start to focus a little bit more on the gameplay itself. I feel like year after year, it feels the same. There's nothing different. And that's really all it is. If there's something that they're going, oh, hey, we're doing this now, or you can do this in games now, you're like, cool. It's not like some really rubbishy, gimmicky thing that you just use once and then not use again.
This year's one, they brought in like the shot stick, which is just the right stick on your controller. Yeah. And it does change the way you shoot. It is certainly there for like the top end players, like the particularly good players. You are going to benefit from using the shot stick more than you are analog buttons on a controller. But it doesn't really redefine the experience anyway. That's not this cool new mode or whatever that's going to get people in, but that's the sort of thing you're looking for.
Yeah, if something like that, yeah, I may come back, but it's a long shot.
And you're still being because the microtransactions are still there. That's still pushing you away anyway.
Oh yes, I think it was the other thing too. Oh no, don't worry. Nah, that was something different. Don't worry.
No, fair enough.
No.
Well, look, I'm kind of the same as you. Like, again, I've been getting the last few for review. I bought that one for Ben Simmons, and that's it. Like, I'm not feeling the temptation to go back and play them because you're right. Like, they're not evolving that much anyway. They're good, fun experiences to play. But once you hit that barricade for them looking for your money or expecting you to commit thousands of hours, which means you're just getting adverts pumped down your throat, pumped through your eyes all the time. It's just not.
By the time you've done all that, a new game comes out, and then everyone just leaves.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you just
Yeah,
go
and
follow them as well.
That's
like
the weird
sheep.
thing, yeah, because they tempt people with the new roster and all that. So it all kind of goes
Dude
down.
on the cover.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's on the cover. Oh, cool.
I mean, I don't know about you. I was watching the playoffs, like a large portion of the playoffs, and I'm pretty well sick of hearing Damon Lillard say that's game.
Oh,
That's game.
just the ads.
That's
like,
game.
it's like-
That's game.
so
And now they
any
start
other
popping
ad-
up in the
yeah.
footy as well.
Oh no, it's
Well,
infecting
I
everything.
think it was because I was watching through Foxtel, so I'm sure they because the free to air channels didn't have the NBA
right.
playoffs on them, so I was watching through Foxtel or through KO. So I think that's why I was getting the same ads because they've just paid out and they need to make their money on it. But it's still pretty ugly and gives me the shits. It's a real bad ad. But you're right though. Like next year we'll see another player, whoever it happens to be. Maybe LeBron will come back again. Giannis, who knows? Someone else breaks through. Let's put Jimmy Butler on the front. He's a jet. Love him.
Yep.
But they're just gonna people instantly go and buy the new game for the new player on the front, especially if it's their favorite player. Like you can,
Or it's a new roster, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then go back to career mode. Then you realize, it's this again. Better go get my money.
yeah,
Get that.
crack the world open for it. Like I just don't get it. It's crazy. But that's what
I
it
just
is.
don't get people that just go, I'm going to buy some virtual currency. And it just doesn't do anything. I don't understand it. I just never have.
And
And never will.
12 months later, they do the same thing again, starting from scratch. So all that progress, all that money they dumped into the last game is completely irrelevant now because they're going to start from scratch again.
Yep, you can't. I think can't go on your little skateboard because your overall rating's not high enough, or your bike, and I'm not even up to that in 2K20. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about right. I don't even look at neighborhood anymore.
There to play
I've just given up
basketball.
on it.
Just let me play basketball.
Yeah, I'll play basketball. I don't care about your mini games or spinning a wheel and all that crap.
And it's
I
the
don't
closest
care.
you and I can get to actually playing real basketball at the moment anyway, since we're not
Yeah,
allowed to play
you
in our
can't do
local clubs.
anything.
Yeah. COVID's probably making it even worse. With like everything else. But we'll wrap things up there at that point anyway. 2K, try and fix it as much as you can. Give us something new to do. Change things up a little bit. It does. I don't know.
Get some new animations or commentary. Just something.
Yeah. Though I'll give him credit. There's a big step up in the. Have you seen the kind of side by sides comparing the PS4
don't
and
care about-
Xbox One?
Don't care about graphics. Don't care.
They look bloody good, but it's still it doesn't hold much water. Like 2K sent me a deluxe edition to review, so I'll get to benefit from that, and that's nice. But again, for
So I'm
everyone
paying
else,
$100 for that game,
yeah,
and they get nothing.
it's crazy. So if you enjoyed this episode of Patched, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live. That includes more Patched, Player 2 plays, late game review, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au for reviews. There'll be my one for 2K21 in there, so feel free to go check that out. As well as a whole bunch of other stuff. The next-gen consoles are getting close, and we've got a hell of a lot to say about them at the site, so go and check that out. We've got some patched episodes coming up where we're going to talk about past generations launch titles, and maybe even cast an eye forward to what the PS5 and the Xbox are going to do just in time for them to launch, unless some big news comes up and completely blows up our plans. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. yes, there's a whole bunch of also reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news features, links to the podcasts are patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast and Dev Diary. Make sure on the site as well, check out all the details for the upcoming Player 2 Marathon, which we just shifted back a week. It's now the weekend of November 21st. That was news that broke during the week. Just gives us a little bit more time with the next gen consoles to kind of work with the companies there. I think Matt also had a clash with the Terry Cam PZ Foundation. I think they had some other charity thing that they were doing the same weekend, so they wanted to give them a bit of time to breathe. So it slipped back a week, but either way, 24 hours of gaming goodness coming up next month. So tune in for that. Pledge a little bit of money. You're helping out. Great charity doing some really cool stuff. And there's a lot of things to be won. There's going to be... There's lots of games, and there might be a shiny new console in there for someone as well. Like a shiny new next-gen console for someone.
An Atari?
Well. Yeah, the Atari. Yeah, that really expensive Atari.
Oh.
It might be an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Or the Google thing. That
Google thing.
apparently doesn't work. I can't remember what it's called. Does it start with an A? The Google console? I can't remember what it is.
I mean, they've got their cloud-based thing.
And there was one where they play online. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank as well. So yeah, feel free to donate to the marathon, because there might be, well, there's definitely a lot of games that'll be available, and you might have seen on social media, there's lots of games already being sent our way in advance there. There'll be digital codes as well as physical copies. And yeah, there might be a cheeky little new Xbox Series X or PS5 there for you. One or the other. You'll see soon enough.
Or could it be both?
Could it be both? I don't know. We'll wait and see in that regard. So look out for that. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks at the lower tiers, early access, high tiers, monthly episode exclusives, and then there's Twitter. Matto?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was expecting to go to Damo.
To Damo.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website is player2au, and until next time, don't buy any VC.
Or 2K games. Even better.
Even better.
It will do you a lot of good. Trust me. There's better games out there to play.
Lots of them.